Hello everyone, in this video we are going to see a lesson. The lesson name is Changes Around Us, which is from grade 6 term 2 and unit 3. So first let's see what is change. What does the word change refers to? So a process in which something becomes different from what it was earlier, that will call as a change. That is, it can be a change in color or change in shape or change in temperature. So that is, from initial state to a final stage there is a difference. So that difference will call that as a change. That process will call as a change. Okay. Next, let's see what are the classification of changes. First, it is slow and fast change, reversible and irreversible change, physical and chemical change, desirable and undesirable change, natural and man-made or artificial change. First, let's see what is slow change. So, any changes which takes place over a long period of time, we'll call that as a slow change. Example, growth of nail, growth of plant, growth of animals, human beings, or change of seasons. So all those are slow change. So it takes place over a year. It takes place over a week. The change happens over a week. Okay, it takes long time. So that kind of changes we'll call as a slow change. So next is a fast change. So any change which happens quicker, so that is which happen in a short period of time, we'll call that as a fast change. Example, bursting of cracker, lightning, bursting of balloon. So all those things are fast change. So here, so what happens is, as soon as they put the Mentos on a carbonated drink, so if the fumes comes out, so it is a quick change. Okay, it happens at once, so it is a fast change. So next is reversible change. So the changes which can be reversed are known as reversible change. That is, we can go back to the initial state. So that changes will call as a reversible change. Some examples are stretching of rubber band. So once we stretch and leave it, the shape, the rubber band goes back to its original shape. So that is a reversible change. Then melting of ice. So we can melt, that is from solid to, it is converting into solid to liquid, and if you freeze it again it becomes a solid. So that is a reversible change. So next is a irreversible change. So the changes which we cannot reverse are known as irreversible change. Example, change of milk to curd, digestion of food, making of idli from batter. So here I have given another example also, burning of a wood. So once we burn the wood, we'll get ash. Okay, from ash we cannot get back the wood. And this is cooking. So once we break and make an omelette, and we cannot get the egg back. Okay, so that is a irreversible change. So next one, physical change. So changes in which there is only a change in a physical state of a substance and there is no change in the chemical composition, those changes will call as a physical change. Example, the solution of salt. So there is a dissolution of salt and melting of ice. All those things are your physical change, or mixing of your red balls among white balls. So all those things are a physical change. Okay, or what is this? tearing a paper. So all those things, cutting an apple. So all those things are your physical change. So look at here, the apple is in a full size. So here there is a change in size. Okay. So there is a change in the shape of an apple. So it is a physical change. And I said there is a dissolution of salt, and in that there is a process which is known as dissolution. So what is dissolution is the spreading of a solid particles among the liquid molecules is known as dissolution. So it is a process in which we are spreading the solid particle among the liquid molecules. So look at this video here. So in this video we are adding a salt to water. So the salt is a solid and we are mixing it with the water, mixing it in water. Okay, there what we are doing is we are spreading the solid particle among the liquid molecules, and this process is your dissolution. And this is an example for your physical change, that is the salt from a solid state it goes into a liquid state. Okay, there is a change in the physical state. So this is an example for your physical change. And when we talk about a solution, we have to know three terms. Solvent. So what is a solvent is? Solvent is a substance that dissolves the solute. And next term is solute. Solute is a substance that is dissolved in solvent. Okay. And next term is solution. So when solute is dissolved in a solvent, it forms a solution. So from the previous example, that is a dissolution of salt. So there the salt is a solute. So we are taking the salt to dissolve in something. We are spreading in something. Okay. So the substance which we are taking comes under your solute, which has to be dissolved. The substance which has to be dissolved is known as your solute. So that is the salt is a solute here, and it is dissolved in water. So that is, water is a solvent. That is, a solvent is a substance in which the solute is dissolved. So then water is a solvent. And the solution, after mixing we get a solution. Okay, the solute plus solvent forms a solution. Okay. So solution is solute plus solvent makes a solution. And as we all know, water can dissolve many compounds. So water is considered as a universal solvent. So next change is chemical change. So changes in which there is a change in chemical composition of a substance, that change will call as a chemical change. So look at this apple piece here. So in this piece of apple, what happens is the color changes. Okay, it becomes brown. It is due to the oxidation. That is, there is a chemical change. There is a change in the chemical composition here, which results in the change in color. So this is your chemical change. So some of the example of chemical changes are burning of food, rusting of iron, popping of popcorn. So look at this example. So here they are adding a substance. So they are adding three substances here. So what happens is it reacts together and its chemical composition changes. So it is a chemical change. So what are the difference between physical and chemical change? Let's see it. First, physical change, no new substances formed and no change in the chemical composition, and it is a temporary change. It is reversible in most of the cases. Whereas in chemical changes, new substances are formed, there is a change in chemical composition, it is a permanent change, and it is irreversible in most of the cases. So these are the difference between your physical and chemical change. So next is your desirable change. So the changes which are useful or which are not harmful to us, we'll call that as a desirable change. So for example, hatching of egg. So that is a useful one and that is not harmful to our environment. So that is a desirable change. And ripening of fruit, cooking of food, growth of human. So all those things comes under your desirable change. Next one is the undesirable change. So the changes which are harmful to us and which we don't like, and all those things will call as a undesirable change. Example, deforestation, decaying of food, rusting of iron, all those things are undesirable change. So forest fire, which we don't like, which is harmful to the environment, so that is a undesirable change. Next, pollution, increase in global warming, which is harmful to environment, and that is also a undesirable change. Decaying of fruit, which is of no use to us, we are wasting the fruit, so that is a undesirable change. Next is a natural change. So changes which takes place in nature on its own, and we don't have that is human beings don't have control over those changes, we'll call that as a natural change. Example, rotation of earth, we cannot stop the earth's rotation, so it is out of our control, so that is a natural change. And changing of phases of moon and rain, winter, summer, all those seasonal changes all comes under your natural change. So that is a picture I given here. That picture is change of day and night, so that is also a natural change. And your cyclone and flood, all those things are natural change which is out of our control, and these are natural change. The cyclones and floods, it is also a undesirable change because which is harmful to the environment. Next is artificial change. So the changes which are brought about by human beings are known as human made or artificial changes. Example, construction of building, cooking, cultivating crop, so all these things, construction of building, industries, pollutions, how much air pollution, land pollution, all those things are human made changes to the globe. And construction of bridges, cooking, cultivating the crops, all those things are artificial changes. Let's see the sum up. So everything in the world undergoes changes. Okay, nothing is stagnating, it is always changing. And changes occurs in position or shape or size, state, color, temperature or composition. So it can take place in various ways. So as a human being, we are learning to adapt to these changes. And thank you. I'll meet you in the next video.